overpowered. Counterplay is a thing, a wonderful thing. As we are heading to the old stomping ground, it is going to be Battlefield of Eternity for SPT.
Absolutely true. Next to Dragonshire, their all-time favorite battleground, that's for sure. They are just so solid when it comes to dominating the Immortal phases, when it comes to separating themselves, not getting clumped near the zones. They pressure you from so many angles, and you could see that in game number 1 as well, right? They were everywhere, surrounding RPG, outnumbering them, outclassing them in many regards. So I think this is going to be a very, very rough ride for RPG. And I wonder, Tetra, I wonder if they're willing to pick the Rainer first again like they did in game 1.
An interesting question. Let's find out.
You know, Rainer has a cute little level 1 talent in his new kit called Exterminator. And on BOE, it could actually be good. You know, every auto attack dealing 50% more to minions, PvE targets in general. And then with Inspired, that one gets up to 100%.
It's a lot of damage.
It's a lot of PvE
I
damage.
do quite like the idea. And if not, this is a map that involves a lot of fighting. Could go for Veteran Marksman. Yes. Another infinitely stacked. Look, Veteran Marksman, Behemoth Armor, infinite stacks. Just auto things forever. Get all the stacks.
Get all the stacks indeed. Now, RPG with that first pick. I'm not sure if Locktar is confident again to trust the Marine.
They
can't do it.
You know what?
Hanzo's
I've seen the
open.
light, and I think they're gonna fill them full of daylight again. Nope, Muradin.
Okay, Muradin is definitely a pick for C here, right? He's one of the better Muradins in the league, so that makes a lot of sense. Muradin is very stable, very solid all around. They take it away from Misaka on the side of SPT, who is a absolutely legendary Muradin player at the same time. But to pick it over, let's say, heroes like Hanzo, who are so dominant on BOE, I'm not sure if that is the right move.
I'm amazed out of 4 bans, Hanzo wasn't banned.
Exactly.
BOE. That's shocking to me.
Doesn't even get respected now.
What has happened to Battlefield of Eternity, Kendrick?
It's so different now from what it used to be.
Everything is different now. As we see Phoenix and the Decade Kane come in. Standard picks. Everything's normal. As if it was any other map. So far, at least.
And I think that really speaks for SPT's focused state of mind right now, right? They realize if they drop even one game right now, they're never going to be able to catch up through the one. And it's still possible for them, although there's a small chance, there's still a chance for them to maybe take first place and have a little bit of a better spot for the playoffs and the ensuing qualification process for the Eastern Clash, right? The higher you seed, the more likely you're going to face weaker opponents from the other regions.
Greymane over Hanzo as well. Have they just forgotten he exists? As we see, Greymane locked in is still a great race, but it's very all-in race. Finally, SPT
That's a good ban.
ban it.
That's a really good ban if you don't plan on picking it yourself. The Cassia ban. Now, this is a really good scenario, I believe, for a Rainer pick on the side of SPT. Not only is one of the counters gone with Cassia, Decker Kane has amazing slows, by the way, so this will definitely work out.
Rainer can add his own slows.
True.
These two sound like they were a match made in heaven, I'm going to be honest. Phoenix Rainer, very much lore synergy. Let's see if it's going to be team synergy for SPT. Roll Garrosh for now. There's still a chance.
With the Earthquake, you know?
There's still hope.
I don't even want to know, Tetra, what the one is going to do with Rainer, with he potentially going for a lot of Arthas now. I mean, could happen.
That's so good. I really like that idea. I did not think of that. We're going to see Malthael, Li Ming. Guess what? That's no blinds, which I think is what they might have been afraid of. So now they have a solo laner. They have everything. Now I think that it is time for SPT. If they have been practicing it, I think this is the best scenario they're going to get, other than the fact that Li Ming could be an issue. But I think you can play around that. You've got your Garrosh.
Yeah. I think no matter which hero they're going to pick, they're already going to be outpaced or outpicked in terms of Immortal Racing, right? With that Malthael, the Li Ming, the Greymane. So the strategy for SPT now should be to win the team fights. Now, Fawcett is a little unusual on BOE for the most part because it's not the largest of maps. His trade, his flight is not going to get the most value here. But he still adds decent teamfight control with that Mighty Gust, right? You could even win a race on the Immortal by gusting the enemy team away. So it still makes a lot of sense. But I think they're going to try to look for team fights to overpower their opponents rather than, you know, splitting Immortals and raise it.
The Falstad is interesting. I'm going to be honest, I would have preferred the Reina, but I also still don't understand it. I'm really hoping Chinese teams haven't gone for what we have seen them do before, and that is one team plays a new hero or a reworked hero or tries a new hero, it loses, and everyone else is like, this is terrible. We're never using this again.
Exactly.
And every other region's just like, yeah, maybe if we just keep trying or actually test things. But in this case, the Falstad, it might just be SPT have not practiced Reina. And also the Asphodam banned out first game, ignores second game, just a little bit of a worse map for him, I guess. Or maybe once again, they just don't rate him high enough here. The Falstad gives them, like you said, a lot more fight control. The global soak is always welcome on this map because the lanes are very close, which means the fly takes a little bit less time.
Very true. And you raise a really good point there with Chinese teams having a tendency to ignore heroes simply because one team tried it or two teams tried it and it didn't work out. The same happened to Anubarak when he was part of the meta a long time ago, right? So hopefully they're just going to take more time to practice the Reina and then they're going to bring him back on stage because we all want more of Jimmy. For now, though, on the left-hand side, it is the blue team, RPG, with Chicken on that Malthael. We have MJ on the Alexstrasza, Sa is playing Li Ming, Murden's being played by C, and Lokhtar on that Greymane.
And on the right-hand side, it is going to be Super Perfect Team with Lucky on Phoenix, Melody C on Falstad, Misaka on Garrosh, Soap on the Thrall, and ZZH is playing the Deckard Cain. And I just realized those last two picks for RPG could have actually been a Cho'Gall. Like Malthael, Li Ming for Cho'Gall. You've got Greymane for race potential. You've got a second tank just in case. You've got Alexstrasza who could Lifebinder. Could have been good, but
I mean, Korea's done it. Korea's done it multiple times.
Yeah, pre-buff as well. So on Alexstrasza, so that's cool.
All right,
Indirect
so
buff.
Thrall hasn't decided yet on his level 1 talent. It could be a Crash Lightning, could be the standard Echo of the Elements, and it is a Crash Lightning indeed. One of the better maps to go for it, and immediately Soap is turning on the aggression here. The Greymane under heavy fire. Is he going to fall?
So Soap, though, that damage coming in from Li Ming forces him to back up as well, and both of them trading out the shots. Everyone's alive, but the health bars dropped low. Advantage in this scenario, however, will go over to RPG because they have AoE healing, abundance value picked up here, and they're going to be much more sustained. However, self-sustained for the Thralls, shield sustained for Lucky, kind of self-sustained for the Garrosh with his E. With his W, sorry, but not that much. So Deckard Cain, his job isn't the hardest, but once again, abundance will certainly help RPG.
Also, by the way, I think, you know, you raise a really good point about the Alexstrasza AoE healing, but her healing is much more, how should I say, mana hungry. So, whereas Deckard Cain, you know, usually has an easier time spreading those potions and going for this more sustained type of healing. Also, speaking of Deckard Cain, I want to raise your awareness on that talent build here. We go for Field Study. Each enemy hero hit by the Scroll of Sealing grants a little bit of spell power for Deckard Cain, increasing his damage numbers. Well, that is not really that important, but most importantly, his healing output with those potions, right? So not going for the Sapphire, but going for a more team fight approach build.
Add a Scroll of Stone Curse later on at level 13, 16, whatever that is, and suddenly Deckard's going to start doing damage. As a Falstad, he's sticking in lane at least for the moment because he has gone for the Wingman build. Hooray! A little bit afraid of those auto attacks against the Greymane, who's going to be diving him pretty hard, and also the fact Phoenix already seems to have that covered. And the bribes is pretty decent in general. The AoE, he wanted to be in the solo lane to give Thrall a chance for the Crash Lightning stacks, so instead he is taking that bribe.
All right, you raise a really good point there. Full W build for the Falstad up to this point. Let's see if he's going to continue that route. Yes, he is. So that makes him a really stable laner. As you said, the bribe can be useful later on to maybe go for some fancy flight maneuvers behind enemy lines and maybe even steal this Fallen Shaman if he has enough stacks available. So let's see how much value this talent is going to get overall across the board. So for now, with the Immortals descending in 5 seconds, we're going to take a look here at Misaka as he's approaching the enemy team who had been lurking in the shadows. He doesn't end up falling up to this point. He's just trying to buy a little bit of time, trying to cause a little bit of a distraction here. So is Deckard Cain. And here comes Soap on that Thrall as well. He wants to get those Crash Lightning stacks rolling.
But This has given the race very quickly over to RPG. We already mentioned their race is straight up superior at this point. Going with that Li Ming and that Grey Ming, very old-fashioned race, but very effective race. So SPT kind of have to defend if they want any hope. But longer this goes on, better this is for Melody C, who is trying to split. So Malthael doing the same for his team, though, as Li Ming tries to get that Immortal down from over the wall.
Exactly, it's a 4 versus 4 right now. You know, Malthael in the top lane, Fossa in the bottom. Loads of damage being dealt, though, onto the back lane. And the Dragon Queen used early yet again. Here comes Malthael, though, with a potential flank over the wall. C is dropped low and gets taken out.
That he does. Malthael tries to show up in time and instead takes a fair amount of damage, gives another field study stack over to the Deck of Cain. Immediately Falstad moves over to start burning down the Immortal. So does Soap. Looks like they're going to try and race this and defend 3 versus 3 as Malthael has shown in top lane once again. Immortal slowly burning down. SPT, their race speed is just so slow. Alexstrasza even now poking with her flame buffet from over the wall. Locktar finds Lucky a little bit alone. Finally, ZZH drops a little heal for him, and Locktar is able to move in. Nice toss by Misaka, though, with the stun, which is giving them time. 300 to 900, and it's still gonna be enough for SPT to take it down. No, sorry, this is RPG.
Yeah, it's RPG. It almost did it.
Taking it down. That was a good delay, but that's a squishy Immortal now.
Oh, that would have been a legendary Garrosh move there. If that little bit of a delay here on the Grey Ming, you know, throwing him into the Immortal stun would have bought enough time for SPT to actually get it. So, got a little bit of hype there, all for nothing. But hey, it's not going to be the most threatening of Immortals, and I think RPG realizes this. They're not even trying to get something done with it. They're trying instead to gank on Melody C, but the Storm Bolt just not long enough here. Also, I wanted to highlight that MJ's Dragon Queens have been astoundingly unimpactful. Like, whenever he pops it, SPT doesn't seem to really care about it. They continue to fight, and members even end up dying, although the superior, or despite the superior healing from Alexstrasza.
Let's leap away by C, keeping himself safe, at least for the moment. They prepare to start another Siege Giant camp. Or not Siege Giants, I guess, the Siege Impalers. That tower finally goes down to the regular ranged minions of C, trying to zone out for his team, and will do so in time, able to guarantee them this mercenary camp. Here comes the root, though, Scroll of Sealing. C in trouble. He's already used his Dwarf Toss. He will maybe get taken out here. Abundance just short of going off.
Man, the minus 75% received healing on that Emerald Cube is so huge, especially against Alexstrasza. Like, if Decker Cain times these cubes very nicely, he can cripple the healing output by a large margin. The Abundance, the Q, everything is going to be so reduced here. Now, Sa wanted to turn the aggression onto Phoenix, but the Hunter becomes the hunted and ends up becoming the prey.
Sa goes down. Slightly more normal build for him this time. Nothing that out of the ordinary. Power Hungry is really the only talent you can sometimes adjust here at level 1, so it's not so bad. But SPT, they head back in. No stack for Thrall there. It needs to hit 2 heroes with that Crash Lightning to gain a stack, only hitting the Grey Mane there.
Alright, SPT is sieging up here with the Impalers at their side. Decker Cain, you know, providing fresh juice, fresh healing juice for everybody. Is definitely a very good sieging support as well. But they let go for now. They realize, you know what? We're going to get that Bruiser camp. We're going to get that Fallen Shaman camp ready. So it distracts the enemy team while we fight over Immortal control. And I think they need to be there super fast. They can't let this happen again of, you know, RPG chunking the Immortal down to the first 50% for almost free. So instead, Soap and CZH, they're going to try to keep the enemy team at bay here. They try to protect their own Immortal at least a little bit.
And once again, the defensive plays.
Misaka, dude.
The Immortal stun, and C being forced to back up. He has second wind, he will, and third wind in fact. He's going to be able to heal up over time. Thrall moving forward. He wants those Crash Lightning stacks as the rest of RPG beginning to be forced off the point here.
And once again, another wasted Dragon Queen. I think they used it because C dropped so low on that Muradin because of that surprise throw by Misaka on the Garrosh, right? And look at that. RPG realized, you know what? We don't want to fight at the enemy team's Immortal anymore. We want to fight out in the open and pressure them a little bit. But this could actually backfire. MJ on the Alexstrasza yet again in trouble. Minus healing. Abundance doesn't go through, and Alexstrasza has fallen again.
C tries to fountain, now he's dead, and he has a fountain on cooldown. Locktar, in the meantime, he's going to pull back. He will actually...
Also, does he have a flight?
Whoa! Burns the Gust, level 10's hit. Pigs on the way. Does he know? Does he know? 1v1. 1v1. Oh, reinforcements. Easy Age. Respect the 1v1. Storm ceiling. And Locktar will go down here just like an alliance. As we see Locktar go.
Hey, Foster's line too, okay?
His name is Locktar, it's fine. As we see, yeah, so one cheated, one died. What's that tell you about the alliance? Chicken gets taken out with the salvo. Star able to teleport away, and he will survive.
All right. Unhonorable behavior here by Decker Kane, destroying the beautiful impression of that 1 versus 1 duel. For now, the SPT trying to basically finish the deal here, finish the job on that Immortal. Misaka in a little bit of trouble, but gets healed immediately. Shield potions super good with Garrosh, because the lower he is in HP, the more the armor is actually going to have value. With those shields, you know, the shields get broken more slowly the more armor you have. So that's really, really good.
Yeah, the half shield is pretty effective here. As level 10, though, is finally available for RPGs. They get the turnaround. Last strike. Down goes the kill onto Garrosh. Like you said, very good kill. It'll give him a great chance to try and turn this round and burn down his Immortal without being harassed.
Yeah, in the nick of time, right? I think what Misaka wanted to do there was basically scout the perimeter so his teammates wouldn't fall victim to that ambush. See, finds another connecting Storm Bolt, and Soap is in trouble, but the movement speed from the Wind Fury is keeping him safe for now. But during all of that, the damage had been done. Look at that. So much distraction cost in the top lane. Bottom lane is getting absolutely destroyed, and the Immortal, I'm not sure if it got the fort. No, it's very close.
No, it was close.
Very close.
But once again, Greymane, a little bit of Malthael, Li Ming, all that damage. Li Ming rotated down to bot lane to help clear, but Greymane and Malthael especially, they do pretty good clear speed.
That they do, and they're not done fighting just yet. The taunt goes through by Misaka. The healing is good. Cleansing Flame connecting multiple people. The Emerald Cube is not ready yet. Chicken under a lot of pressure, but MJ drops right next to him.
As the sleep lands, beautifully done. Salvo from Lucky. C is low. Locktar turns around, backs the abundance. No Emerald this time as they chase forward, looking for Soap. They're trying to finish him off. He's so low. Scroll of Ceiling is enough to dissuade. MJ drops a Wind Buffet on the way. Oh, Locktar, this is familiar. 1v4, go.
Oh,
nailed it. Oh, very nearly nailed it as he tries to burst Soap from over the wall, but he still goes down.
Yeah, it was a really valiant effort, you know, because although Soap landed the Feral Spirit on him, which is nice, that also gave vision to the Thrall for a short period of time. And Locktar, realizing that he was completely outnumbered in a hopeless situation, he tried to make the best of it, right, and take down Thrall. It would have almost been enough damage here if only he had more Wisdom Duelist stacks. At this point, I'm not even sure how many he's accumulated over this point, because whenever Greymane dies, he's losing half of it. So, yeah, that would have been really, really nice.
So we see SPT cleaning up once again their Fallen Shaman camp. RPG thinking about doing theirs. Instead, they're going to rotate to bot and just guarantee themselves this fort. Impaler's doing a good job. Disintegrate dropped as well. Scroll of Ceiling just off target. Enough to damage the Impalers at least a little bit. But this fort should go down. And that's going to allow RPG to start doing their own Fallen Shaman camp. Problem is, while this is happening, Falstat's being annoying in the top lane.
That is correct. He realized that some angry members of RPG are probably going to try to take care of him at some point. So he didn't even teleport back to base all the way. He decided that it was smarter to actually fly, or walk in that case, to his teammates. SPT putting up a little bit of pressure here. I'm not even sure if Soap is fully stacked on that Crash Lightning yet. I don't think we've seen the notification on the left-hand side yet. So it would be nice to know how close he is to that. Or maybe we just overlooked it.
Yeah. I would also like to see how many stacks Falstad has,
True.
but unfortunately we do not see stacks with this UI. And the observers are not choosing to show it to us yet, and we have no way to communicate with them. As we do have SPT hovering around. Nice Stormbolt, not landing this time, as Lucky begins burning through the Immortal, as he is left kind of unattended. Even with the talent, even with no talent advantage, even levels, very patient from RPG as they look for Misaka. Malthael not in position for the last right, so Misaka gets healed back up again. That might have been their chance.
Yeah, that is indeed their chance here. Misaka taking a little bit of healing, a little bit of shielding there, and stays alive through all that burst with the Cursed Bullet and the Greymane. Look at that, Alexstrasza's Dragon Queen here. It's actually popped again and immediately countered by that mighty gust. Not only do they shove them back, but they also slow them there for a short period of time. And Alex Strasser's Dragon Queen almost completely whiffed, almost completely expired. And most importantly for Misaka on the Garrosh is that Last Rites is, for now, on a pause, on a cooldown, so he can play a little more recklessly now.
That he can. That he can, as
Thrall
throws out the Wolf, not landing. But here's where RPG's comp can just gain a huge advantage. In the poke phase, as someone said, don't get dived. Nice little self-cleanse by Malthael, preventing himself getting tossed by Garrosh. Less luck for Muradin, but he's tanking through for the moment. He's slow though. Salvo gets the kill, as Loktar is low. Everyone else in full retreat. Alexstrasza comes out of the Cleansing Flame, as this is a full retreat play here.
Yeah, and once again, the value of the Emerald, man, I keep saying it, it's one of the best talents, one of the best anti-healing talents in the game, next to, I would say, Touch of Death by Malthael, who also took that talent, by the way, to mess up the self-healing from Thrall, for example. The healing, of course, granted by Decker Kane suffers from it as well. But against a Decker Kane, traditionally, I don't think it's the most, you know, must-have talent in your talent tree when you're playing Malthael, because Decker's healing is very unpredictable, right? And it's usually not that big, massive heal that you need to shut down. Speaking of that one, though, Chicken, in a world of pain, gets the kill, though. Gets taken out at the same time.
Yeah, but Last Right too early again. Loktar rolls away. He will still get chased down by Falstad. And again, a little bit too greedy coming out for RPG, looking for kills as opposed to this. But instead, they bought themselves a little bit of time for the objective, but they're still going to lose it by a significant amount.
Yeah, the thing is, like, both melee assassins tried to make a play when Muradin wasn't even nearby, when their support wasn't even near to support them. So these greedy plays are really starting to backfire for RPG. And once again, look at that Emerald timing by ZZH, denying all that self-heal by Muradin with that healing static at level 13. It's just such a pleasure to watch, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of Decker Kane mains out there in the viewership, they're probably going to take much more Emerald now, if they haven't done so already, because it is just so powerful.
It's a big old Immortal coming in here. Everyone is with it as well, except for Thrall, who's a little bit late. Here comes the Scroll of Sealing as well. More damage onto Loktar as well, just adding even more on top of this, as they are burning down the front wall with ease, but the shield is dropping very quickly. The joy of Li Ming harassment damage.
That is correct. The Dragon Queen used as well as an emergency tool to hold this keep some way, somehow. And here goes the damage on Misaka. Lives through easily, though.
The Last Rites denied once again. The keep goes down. An RPG, they're desperately trying to drive past. They get caught in the Scroll of Sealing, though, looking for Lucky. They don't even burn through the shield. And the Immortal moves on to the core. It's down to half health, though. It should be cleaned up pretty quickly by Loktar and co. As we do see SPT, though, they're going to look to see if they can pick up some kills while this defense is happening. Nice stuff by Muradin, protecting MJ from the Purification Salvo, but he still goes down, and with the core down to half health, SPT commit, and that is going to be it. That is GG, and SPT, in a nice, safe fashion, able to take game number 2 and the series.
Yeah, very nicely done by SPT. The double kill for Phoenix at the very end just didn't happen. And look at Soap there, the second on the right. He's a happy man right now. He can get very emotional if things aren't going their way. But he can also be a happy cat if things do look well indeed, and that they did. I mean, that was probably one of the most spectacular and not really spectacular, one of the most solid, I should say, performances by SPT, because RPG wasn't even able to put up a fight. They had so much momentum going for them. You saw their recent match history, like not really losing any series, 2 draws and 1 victory against Team Nut in really solid fashion, but against a top dog, a powerhouse like SPT, it was just not enough today.
It was not enough at all, and that's going to put SPT in a lovely position in terms of points. With that 2-0, they move up to 27 points once again. Excuse me.